If you just train what I call the 7 aesthetic muscles and something that I call the 4 key facial muscles, you will become as attractive as a model, no matter your current genetics. And in this video, I will be walking you through exactly what these muscles are and how to train them, so you will be able to get the best glow up in your life. My name is Oliver, and I help guys become the most attractive version of themselves. And if you didn't know already, building an aesthetic physique and face is the single best way to do so. I have a program where I will personally review your looks so I can make a specific workout plan for your type of genetics. It's in the top link of the description, all the details are there. So step number 1. So just before I tell you about the 4 key facial muscles, I actually want you to understand why we are not attractive in the first place. Because it's not just about luck, it's about your habits that you have been doing. So I clearly remember back in 2021, I used to have the worst period of my life. It was the time where I did the most amount of bad habits that I could possibly know. So first of all, every single time that I was lying in bed, I would be watching either some high dopamine YouTube or I would be watching Instagram reels, just scrolling. But the part here was that first of all, I wasn't breathing through my nose as we should be doing. I was breathing through my mouth. And the thing is, when we are breathing through our mouth, we are not doing what's called mewing, which will actually make our jawline look more resist like this. Like it will go more inwards. That's actually how most people look these days. But it wasn't just that habit that I was doing that was a part of it. But something that I also just did all the time was that when I was sleeping or just lying down basically, I would be having my hand on one of the sides of my face. And the thing is, the reason why this is such a bad habit is because over time, more water will flow to that side of your face. Plus your hand applies pressure, so you will actually get an asymmetrical face over time. But the thing is, like, my phone was always so bad at holding like onto the battery, so every single time that I laid in bed, I needed to have like the charger in, so I felt like I had to lay like on the side, and then I wanted some support, so I would either had a pillow or like my hand like this. And that's why, like, but of course I was never taught something like this, so obviously I couldn't know it, and that's why I'm so happy that I can teach it to you. So my action step for you right now is that if you can relate to some of these bad habits, the way that we are gonna fix it is first of all, breathe through your nose. The second way is to just lie on your back, because over time the water will just stay naturally in your face and it will actually fix your face over time. A quick action step that I actually want you to take is think about what bad habits that you have right now and then write it in the comments of this video, so I can know in my future videos what bad habits you are actually going through, so I can help you even more. So now that we know the roots of our problems, which is our bad habits, we can do something to invert the like effect. So basically this is something that I call training the 4 key facial muscles. So there's basically reasons for why they are models. They have what's called the 4 key facial muscles. That's what I call it. It's basically the muscles that will make you so attractive from your face that you will begin to look like a model. So there are certain traits that models, for example, have. One of the traits is, for example, having something called the hunter eyes. That's like a saying that we're saying. In short terms, this basically just means that you have less upper eyelid exposure and you have something called a positive canthal tilt. This basically means that instead of your eyebrows going like this or like a rainbow like this, your eyebrows goes like this. It has a positive canthal tilt. That's what it means basically. And there's literally muscles that makes us have these kind of looks and specific training. And there's literally specific muscles that you can train in order for you to get these kind of results. And that's why I've taken these 2 pictures. So the picture on the left side is me for around a year ago, 1.5 years ago. And me on the right side here is from today. So 2025, me at 19 years old. And this version of me on the left side is around 18, maybe the end of 17, around that age. So basically in 24. So you can probably see that there is a massive difference between these two pictures. Obviously I'm smiling on like the left side, but that doesn't really change the fact that I had like a rainbow kind of eye. So what I meant by this is, look at this. This eyebrow here goes like this. You can see that's like a rainbow, right? It goes like this. But on the other hand, like the right side picture, you can clearly see my eyebrows goes like this. Basically in a straight line, maybe a little bit upwards, as we can see over here. It's more clear over here. And that is what's so attractive to have. And the way that we get this is training something called the orbicularis muscle. So the orbicularis muscle is the muscle that you have around your eye area here. So basically, let me draw this for you. Let me just get rid of this right here. So let me draw it over here for you. This is basically our orbicularis muscle. It's all the way around our eye muscle here. The way that we train this muscle is actually very simple. So we just take our index fingers and we put it at the end of our eyebrow here. And then we have a muscle right here that you can feel. As I said, right around all the way here. But right here we want to pull the muscle upwards and then twist it to like the side with our fingers. When we do this, then we want to squeeze down, make an angry face, but don't close your eyes completely. You can see that I didn't close it completely. And that's because if you close your eyes completely, you will take the pressure away from the muscle. If this is done over enough time, basically like 2 months consistently every single day, you will start to get hunter eyes basically. There's also some other things that we can do, like learning expression. So if you learn a certain expression over time, it will actually become automatic, and that's also how we can get like the hunter eyes. But this will basically help a lot if you have a negative canthal tilt, because it will basically just pull your eyebrows upwards. So the next muscle is something called the masseter muscles. So the masseter muscles is the muscles that we have right here at our end of our jawline. It's what gives this thick and sharp looking look. You can see basically over here I have no definition at all. Like it's also because I have a bit of face fat here. Here I'm a bit more leaner. But basically how we train this muscle and get that attractive TikTok boys jawline. You can see it right here, right? The way that we get that jawline is literally just by doing something called the prayer. So the prayer is where you take your hands together, just like if you were praying. And then you want to take your thumbs under your chin and push upwards. And then you want to resist downwards with your jaw. If you just do this single exercise, you will get the best jaw gains as possible. The third muscle that we can train, or which is actually a bone, but I just call it a muscle because that's way easier to understand. And that is your hyoid bone. So your hyoid bone is the muscle that you have around your throat area here. It's a bit upwards, like right on your chin here. So right here. But basically, when this muscle is trained, your skin literally gets tightened up. You can clearly see the jawline definition here. Comparing it to here, there's way more like loose skin. Like you can also see like the shadows under like my skin here, which is literally just because I have skin hanging off here. Basically, when the hyoid bone is trained, your skin here gets tightened up like this. You can clearly see the difference. Basically, it's just sucking it up. And the reason for this is actually, there's 2 reasons for why you have skin hanging off. First of all, you're fat, so you just need to lose weight. But there's also skinny people, like you can see, like I was pretty skinny here on this picture, and I still had fucking skin hanging off. It's so weird. So that's just a step that you can implement if you want to get more attractive like definition on your jawline. The last muscle that we can train is something called your palate. So the palate is on the roof of your mouth, basically right behind your teeth. So here it's way easier to explain here. So you can see if we open our mouth, that part is our palate. Basically the little hole that you can feel in like your mouth. If you just apply pressure with your tongue against that part like this, and you can see that like your tongue is sticking out here, that's when you know that you're doing it completely right. If you do that, you will literally push your jawline forward. Remember when I told you about one of the bad habits that we had like a recessed looking jawline? If we want to reverse this effect and push our jawline forward, we actually need to do mewing. So mewing is basically just, as I said, we have our tongue against our palate and then we just push upwards and a bit forwards. Then over time, our jawline will literally get pushed forward. As you can, like you can also basically see like the length of my jawline looks basically longer here than it does here. And it's literally, as I said, just because we need to mew. But again, these exercises get kind of complicated because maybe you don't know how to do it correctly because it's, you know, it's kind of hard to explain just over a video like this. And that is exactly why that I have a program where I literally teach you step by step how to do it. So I literally review your form. So let's say that you don't know how to do the like eye exercise. You can't really feel the muscle. It feels kind of awkward. You're looking at yourself thinking like, what the fuck am I even doing? Like, bro, I'm looking like an idiot basically. Then I will literally hop on the call with you and I will literally review your form personally, and then I will tell you, oh bro, you actually went a little bit too much on the middle part. You actually need to get at the end of your eyebrow. All of these different things I will literally help you with. Again, it's in the top link of the description. All the details are there. So the next step that I will quickly run through is something called the 7 aesthetic muscles, which is the most important thing that we can do for our physical attractiveness. So basically, in short terms, you can train for the female gaze or the male gaze. So training for the female gaze is where we optimize 7 aesthetic muscles, which will give us the most attractive look possible. However, when we train for the male gaze, which is actually what most people do, and you probably are one of them, and that is where we just think about getting as much muscle as possible. We think that the bigger, the better, basically. The bigger we get, the more attraction we will get from girls. But that is simply just not true. It's about building the right proportions, not just muscle. And that is why that I've chosen these 2 pictures. So the picture of the left side is Eddie Hall, basically the strongest man. So he should be like the most masculine. He also is. He is the most masculine. But why is he then not the most attractive in this picture? Like you can see, he has clearly got way more muscle size than me in like his abs, chest, arms, traps, everything basically, right? But then why is it that me on the right side is more attractive than Eddie Hall? Because I have way less muscle. Like you can see, we can basically not even be compared. But why do I look more attractive? First of all, it's because of our hips. Basically the shoulder to waist ratio. So that's something that's called. The shoulder to waist ratio is basically the law of attraction. So if we men have a wider shoulder area than we have from our hip area, we will be more attractive. But you can see from Eddie Hall, he has a bit of floppy fat hanging off here, but he's still wide, but it's actually not attractive. And you can see it's not as big of a ratio comparing to my waist here out to the shoulders here basically. I have a way more attractive V-taper. Basically I have the V-taper physique while having a slim waist. Like you can see his waist clearly, right? Like it goes upwards like fucking this. You can see all the fat that he has here, right? That you can grip. If he lost that fat, he would have his skin going inwards here actually and then outwards, so he will have a way more like attractive look basically, like I have here. And that is just one of the reasons. The second reason is that I have optimized for the 7 muscles. So the 7 muscles is pretty simple. It is your upper traps, which is the muscle that we have right here. Then it is the upper chest, so basically the attractive muscle that we have all the way here. Then the third muscle is your neck. I actually forgot that muscle right here. The fourth muscle are your lateral delts, which is the muscle that we have right around the side here, which will basically give us that attractive white look. The fifth muscle is your biceps, like your overall biceps here. The sixth aesthetic muscle is your lats, so the muscle that we have under our armpits here, the one that goes outwards here. And the last muscle, and the seventh, is our overall abs, especially the lower part here, which is the hardest part to train. But this part here is also really attractive, and then our obliques as well. I know this seems confusing right now, but that is basically just the 7 aesthetic muscles. You can see he has also trained those muscles, but you can see his arms are way too overdeveloped. His forearms is way too overdeveloped. His shoulders is just not as good as they could have been. His chest doesn't look aesthetic, like you can see. His upper chest doesn't look bigger than like his lower and middle chest. So all of these different things is basically just what makes him non-attractive. And that's why I am more attractive than him. And that is exactly why that I've made a free workout plan for you, so you don't end up training like, for example, Eddie Hall, to becoming just big but not more attractive. And that is exactly why that link is not the top link, but the link just below that link. But of course, again, you will get way more results if you just personally get a specific workout plan made by me. Because maybe you have different proportions, there's different muscles that you need to focus on instead of these muscles, and that is exactly what I can help you with. And I can also review your form so your technique doesn't fuck your shoulder up. Because imagine if your shoulder gets fucked up, then you have to wait like maybe half a year before you get like recovered. And that time you could have used to get like an aesthetic physique. So it's just way quicker and better. So again, top link of the description, that's my program. So I really want to say a thank you for watching this far. You've really been taking the time to educate yourself. And that is exactly what you need to do. And that is why I think my channel is the best way to do so for you. Because that's where I teach you about how to become the most attractive version of yourself. So I'll highly recommend you to go down and click subscribe to my channel. Watch this video next if you want to keep on improving yourself. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day, bro. Mwah!